What's up, guys? The Beast NJ here for the Level Up Network, here to give my E3 2016 game of the show. So Andrew gave his to God of War. Great choice. I loved it. What a way to open that Sony conference. Now, before I get to mine, I will give a couple of nods and a couple of ones that came close for me. Yes, they were all from the Sony conference. Call me a fanboy if you want. You got to do what you got to do. I got to do what I got to do. But they all were from the Sony conference. Xbox had a great conference. Don't get me wrong. I liked a lot of stuff from Xbox, and I will probably use my Xbox more than I ever have before this year. That said, my runner-up, first of all, would have to be God of War. I'm glad Andrew gave it his game of show because God of War just looks so awesome. I love the new Kratos. I love the new mythology. I love the dynamic between him and son, as we've only known him as kind of a brute without a family. And now he's started a new family, so we think. But yeah, that looks great. That was a really strong opening, and the new gameplay style, that Dark Souls style combat, really speaks to me personally. I think it's going to be fantastic. And it just visually, the game looks astounding. The whole package is there, so that was really close. It was a tough call for me. And then, of course, another tough call, but because they didn't show any of the game itself, I couldn't give it any kind of real award. Was, of course, Spider-Man. PlayStation 4. What's there to say? I'm so happy that that is coming to the PlayStation family. It's so fitting for Insomniac to be developing that game. Now, a lot of people just assumed this would be my game of show. I think Greg was the one. He was like, I feel like there's got to be Spider-Man, but I'm like, it's not, because it's a promise and a great trailer right now. It's not a game yet. We haven't seen it. We don't know what that game is just yet. Do I have a lot of faith in it? Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. But it's not anything yet, so I couldn't give the award to that. And now for my game of the show, which is Horizon Zero Dawn. I am a huge champion for Horizon Zero Dawn. I like Guerrilla Games a lot. Wasn't a big fan of Killzone 1 and 2. I liked Killzone 3. Killzone Shadowfall I liked probably the most, but even so, I didn't think it was a great game. Now to come to find, they're totally straying away from that and getting into Horizon Zero Dawn, which is just a total departure from everything they did. And I'm sure there's going to be lessons learned from Killzone. You can see in the alien tech that Aloy is fighting, the kind of like robot dinosaurs, these mechanical beasts that she's fighting. You can see a lot of the Killzone influence style in there, the Helghast kind of like glowing orange eyes in there, and some of the visual choices they made. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of things they learned, and I think Killzone Shadowfall really kind of set the tone for this in terms of Killzone Shadowfall was the most open Killzone game that there was yet, and I think that was because they had wanted, this is something I think they wanted to do. They kind of said they weren't sure they wanted to do this until they started doing it. They didn't really have this in the back of their head the whole time, but I think they were really into the idea of just doing an open world type of game, whether that be an RPG or not. They kind of go hand in hand, but I think they really wanted to do this kind of open thing, and we saw some of that with Killzone, where the areas became more open, and now you see a beautiful game like Horizon Zero Dawn. It's just massively open. The map looks huge. So it makes a lot of sense for this to be the next step. And I have a lot of faith in what they're doing here. And last year, this was my game of show. I thought it was great. New IP. Looked excellent. They came out of the gate with the announcement and some gameplay. Now this year, we have the date. It is delayed a little bit, but it's coming, spring 2017, and we saw some gameplay too. And man, it looks incredible. I love the way that she kind of has to adapt to the battlefield, and it looks like you don't really get a rest. Like when something's coming at you, you got to be on your toes and you got to be ready. Like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna try to take control of this other beast running around so I can mount it and maybe shoot arrows and weaken this thing from afar? Should I keep my distance and kind of trap it down to the ground before I get in close to attack? I love that. I love combat where you really have to think about what you're doing and carefully plan your next move, but you don't have a lot of time to do that. So it forces your hand to make some really like fast choices, and I really appreciate that. Something else I really appreciate is this protagonist is just a badass. She is a strong, independent warrior. She's going to be a great model for up and coming female gamers and older female gamers and male gamers, honestly. She's just going to be a great role model. She's going to be a great character to the PlayStation staple. I'm really excited for everything they're about to do with her. And the story looks just as interesting as the combat and the world, in my opinion. The story looks like it's really cool. We got a couple of hints from that trailer about her coming from maybe a more advanced civilization. She has a lot of this technology we're seeing. Which leads me to, I guess, will be my final thing I'm really excited about for this is kind of the blending of old and new world. I really, really like how this doesn't make sense, and yet it makes total sense. We have these crazy, like, dinosaur robots, and not just dinosaurs. We originally thought that, but no, we're seeing things that are kind of looking like minotaurs now, and bison running around, and then there's regular forest animals, and the whole world itself is kind of like this dystopia, this beautiful dystopia that looks like it's an ancient land, but then we have all of this advanced technology. She's wearing a little chip behind her that's allowing her to scan enemies and override systems and things like that, and it's just really unique. This shouldn't make sense on paper at all, but it makes total sense when you see it in action. And every time I see more of this game, I just start salivating. I get so excited for this. I can't wait to get my hands on and play it. And so yes, Horizon Zero Dawn by Guerrilla Games is my E3 2016 game of the show. I really can't wait to play this game, and I'm just super confident in it. I think it's really going to deliver big time. I really think you're in for a treat with this game, and I think it's just going to be an outstanding start to what is undoubtedly a new successful IP for Sony. And if it's not, guess what? You have this video to throw in my face now, so lucky you. But I think it's going to be great. Let me know what you guys thought, what you think is your game of the show, what you think about this being my game of the show, and just general comments, questions, and concerns. You can leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for all of your support here on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Make sure you guys click the like button if you like this content. Make sure you share it with your friends, most importantly, if you know anyone who would enjoy this kind of content. Also, most important of all, subscribe. Come on back and check out all of our other videos. Hit us up on patreon.com/TheLevelUpNetwork if you want to show us a little love. Follow me on Twitter at TheBeast_NJ. Follow the Level Up Network at the Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next time.